Hello class, this is Vincent and this is going to be my pitch video for our three mood boards to be submitted Sunday night for week 2. Okay, um, just to go over a little bit about my mood boards, the narrative for Earth and Fire is going to be a high-end crafted dinnerware and ceramic company specializing in traditional craft and plates, bowls, cups, and all accessory, making a beautiful dinnerware that will stand up to the wear and tear of the hard-working chefs and cooking community. Earth and Fire products are created to make a statement of fashionable dinnerware that's lasts a lifetime. And some of those narratives that I came up with, I've got a three different narratives: high-end, handcrafted, and fresh and natural. My first not my first, but one of my mood boards that I have in front of me right now is my third mood board that's theme is fresh and natural. Now, the fresh and natural mood board captures the fresh and natural feel with organic items, for instance, in bamboo and the fresh vegetables. This appealed to the pro chef and cooking community that likes to eat healthy and to stay within that theme with the products made to carry out that feel. So, when I was designing this, I thought about some of the things that chefs would use and the cooking community would use and natural things. The color emphasis come from the photos and some of the things that will be used in the kitchen. But I connected a whole lot of things that made sure that each one of these things felt together. Um, let's say with the circles were a connection of two things. On the chef uniform, they have the little circles. Um, 6 circles that goes down in order. I connected that with the circles and the pan in the back. So that gave me the inspiration to go with the circles to put things in the circles. So it connects there. The color also connects with a lot of things that were cooked with inside of the kitchen. So that was one of my things of connecting with the natural feel, and also with the color, it combines some of the imagery that we have here. The texture, I tried to use textures that you will find inside of a kitchen, like the stainless steel, the leafy greens, the bamboo, the cast iron, and some of the decor that you will find in some of the kitchens that you have. So if you can see here with um, this texture right here is pretty much the cast iron that connects with this cast iron. It uses the same texture, but the imagery shows the texture. So when I'm designing, I can use that texture, and you can grab that connection. Just just like this bamboo right here is connected with the bamboo that's for display around the whole image, and some of the bamboo salt shaker and pepper shaker. Um, and that's how I did that. And what I did was to connect some of the color with the title and add hierarchy, and pretty much put leave things in order. And this is what I did with the color. Kept things where you automatic jump to, here's a title down here, here's another title, and you kept that all one color. But I showed different colors sorts inside of what we may use inside of the brochure or the flyer or the printed material. Excuse me. Now that was my first theme, and it was going to use the contemporary look, use like metaphors, and that's what was in the circles, and that's why I use circles instead of like squares and other things with that piece. Jumping over to another one of my mood board that can display to the client is my mood board number 2 that's for handcrafted. And the handcrafted, I want to show, the natural feel of things handcrafted, organic stuff as well. Um, just like the flower is connecting with the flowery image here, the colors here are connecting with imagery here and here, and that's where I picked up my color palette. But also the color palette can be found inside of the um, pottery and the dinnerware that's used. Um, and the fonts are a key thing too, because using that, it shows a connection to what style you're going with. Uh, for instance, with my first one, the fonts are sort of similar, sort of different. The header is different, but going back, this header, this has a more drawn feel that gives that handcrafted, because this is look like handwritten text. So that's what gives that notion of feel, that gives my theme of handcrafted, and showing these imagery here, that showing things that's handcrafted with care and stuff like that, and that would be shown out through the printed materials and displaying the finished piece. So this gives a great concept to connecting each element together, and I can use either or, and it all states the same things as handcrafted. Moving over to my first mood board, but I'm showing you in the last place. Um, oh, one other thing, going back to the handcrafted, the style of the mood board was in a Swiss contemporary, and that was to show clean lines and things like that, circles, use of negative space, which not too much negative space is used. I kind of much used a grid, not much of a grid, but I kept everything in line. But moving back over to my first mood board, which I'm showing last, and I have my fonts, and this first mood board was to represent high end. The style of the campaign was Swiss for its clean appeal, and pretty much you see a lot of clean lines, square, geometric clean lines. Even the font type uh, is square. If you look at it, if you look at the E resembled this black box. If you was to put it in the box, it's square, clean, high end. But the texture in the background gives that quality of a high end. Even with here in the second piece, right, second square, you see the texture. This design matches this design. They're not to the design, but you can see the curvature and elements of that high end look. And going over with the professor, we talked about different things that we need to connect inside of the mood board. So when we present it to the client, but again, the font types, the spacing of the and the placement of everything gives that feel of the Swiss feel, but to show the client how it could look elegant and high end luxury, something of that nature. And that's what I have with my um, three mood boards that I can present to the client. So going back over, I have the third mood board for fresh and natural. I have the second mood board for handcrafting. Then my first one is the high end. And I think I did a good job. I probably could have did a little bit better. Um, but this is what I start with going forward for the entire month. Um, if you have any feedbacks, let me know. I'm happy to hear feedbacks and implement any of these things in. Sometimes, I work on these things for quite a long time and to get the things straight. But thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Have a good day.